What is up everyone? In the last video that I literally just finished recording about 10 seconds ago, we unboxed my new machine. This is an iMac 2006 Core 2 Duo, 17-inch model, 2 GHz. And in this video, we are going to power it up, give it a first boot, see if it survived the shipping journey, and just play around with it, see what it can and can't do. Take a look at Lion, download some applications. I'm just going to spend a few hours today fiddling with the machine, and I'm going to take you guys along for the ride. So here we have the iMac, and without further ado, let's do the first boot. So in 3, 2, 1, go. Nothing yet. It would help if I actually plugged it in down the bottom here. Lesson number 1 from today's video, you have to plug both ends of a power cable in for it to be effective. Okay, 3, 2, 1, go. Very nice. A nice deep bong with plenty of low end, surprisingly, from these internal speakers. They might actually sound better than these crappy little things. Apologies if I knock the tripod at any point in this video, folks. This is going to be a bit of a rough one. Also, the power light came on a little bit when we booted it up there, so that was pretty cool as well. So that works. The optical drive also made a noise. And I can hear the hard drive actually. It's not too loud, it's just a tiny bit clicky. Now, of course, I've been accustomed to pretty much every machine I own using an SSD, so waiting for this to boot may be a little bit long-winded, but actually not as bad as I thought. Okay, so before we begin, let's get our wireless devices turned on and ready to go. And of course the keyboard switched on. There we go. Okay, keyboard. I need to rename these keyboard and mice. 3, 6, 7, 5. 3, 5, 6, 2. Enter. What is wrong with my enter key? Why won't the enter key work? Oh, excellent. It's just been a little bit impatient there. So my wireless keyboard and mouse are hooked up. Let's go United Kingdom. British, of course. We don't want Wi-Fi actually. We want to use the wired internet, so we will ignore my wireless networks. Continue. Transfer information. Don't transfer now. Okay, just going to fill in this info. We're not going to skip it because I may indeed, you know, this install could be the install that I use. Okay, so that's all the info I'm going to put in. Create your account, full name, continue. Of course, this is a Lion setup, folks, just in case anyone didn't recognize the very Lion background here. That weird grey thing that they were doing for a while where everything was sort of textured and stuff. There's a word for it, but I can't remember what the word is. Oh, there's the eyesight. Very nice, looking good, looking very good, but I'm just going to choose a picture rather than taking a picture. What should we have this time? Let's have the piano keys again. Continue. Time zone. Yeah, that'll do fine. Thank you. Okay, so we should land on the desktop after typing in the password. There we have it, Mac OS X Lion. Now this display looks gorgeous, folks, absolutely gorgeous. iCloud, no thank you. System preferences has opened up, which is handy because the first thing that I want to do is invert the scrolling back to normal because I still scroll the normal direction. So we're going to do secondary click on the other mighty mouse button there, and then that is us set up. Let's just quickly enable zooming. Right then, so now that I've enabled zooming, we are ready to continue. So let's go to About This Mac and we will check to see if we got what we paid for. Now, the awesome thing about this machine is not only is it the 2 GHz Core 2 Duo version, which is the superior of the two models that were available, but it's got 4 gigs of 667 MHz DDR2. Now, a lot of people think that you can only put 3 gigs in this machine, whereas the machine will actually take 4 gigs and it will use, I believe, about 3.2 gigs of that memory, 3.1, 3.2. So there may be a slight benefit to putting 4 in there, and of course it will recognize 4, but apparently it can't utilize all 4 gigabytes. So you can see 17-inch in late 2006, 2 GHz Core 2 Duo, 4 gigabytes of RAM. And one of the cool things about this machine, which is a major advantage over the MacBook that I had, is it actually comes with a dedicated graphics chip, Radeon X1600 with 128 megabytes of dedicated VRAM, whereas the MacBook that I had was extremely similar to this machine, but it had the GMA 950 with a shared 64 meg, which is diabolical by today's standards. You know, this is no, you know, monster or anything by today's standards, but it is a lot, much better than the GMA 950. So there's that. We've got the display, which does indeed have a 1440 by 900 resolution running off of this little graphics chip. Very nice display, folks. Nice and bright. Brightness controls on the keyboard working. Lovely, really nice. Next up, storage. So we have a 250 gigabyte hard drive. This hard drive looks pretty much empty. We've got 243 gigs, or 243 and a half, free out of 249, which is cool. We'll take a little look around in the Finder in a minute just to see if there's anything there. Here we have, so it is a super drive. Disk formats that can be written, CDR, CDRW, and all the DVD stuff as well, and it'll write DVD dual layers. So that's cool. And memory, of course, we've got a 2 gigabyte stick in each slot, which is really nice. DDR2 memory by this point, of course. So that is all the specifications. If we just quickly jump into System Profiler here, just to have a closer look. This is an iMac 5,1 for those who are curious. It's got 4 megs of L2 cache. 2 gigahertz number of processors, number of cores, ATA. So the optical drive is still on an ATA bus, but the hard drive, of course, by this point was indeed serial ATA. So it is very much possible to put a SSD in this machine, but I assume that the serial ATA interface is SATA Revision 1. So that's something to keep in mind. Probably, in fact, almost definitely is. We do have a recovery partition on here, 650 meg. So that's that. What else can we look at? Of course, we know it has Bluetooth because we're using the wireless keyboard and mouse. This is pretty much everything, I think. We know it's got Firewire, we've looked at the memory. Of course, no Thunderbolt. A little bit too old for that. So, there we have it. Here we are, sitting at a Lion desktop. So I've moved you guys a little closer to the screen so you can see what's going on. Let's boot up Safari, and we'll get an idea of how speedy this machine is. So obviously it's booted up to the Apple homepage. Let's dive straight into YouTube and see what we get. Oops, your web browser is no longer supported. Let's see if we can still search and play videos.
Long after you're gone, I can be singing this song. Long after you're gone, that journey takes you everywhere that you ever wanted to go. The bad bits go past real quick, good times roll really slow. could be singing this song long after you're gone. I could be singing this song long after you're gone. Now the heavens are weeping, and I will not be sleeping tonight.
So folks, the speakers are really nice in this iMac. I've just been playing that YouTube video and fiddling around in the OS, as you guys have probably seen. I'll probably cut a few bits up and things like that, but it feels really fluid and really nice. I was expecting it to feel a little more sort of, I don't know, just a bit more sluggish, because this is the last OS that these machines will natively run. So folks, I've been using the iMac for a little while now. I've literally just installed Office 2011, so it's just refreshed my dock with all of the Office apps. There we go, that's done. Okay, cool. So yeah, I've been using this for a little while and it is so smooth. I am really happy. So Spotify, up here it says, heads up, we're ending support for your operating system in an upcoming release. Click here for more information. When you click here, it takes you to a web page that says it requires Mavericks or newer, but this is a very new version of Spotify, which is cool. So that's something that is quite successful on here. But just as a warning to anyone that wants to download Spotify, first of all, it threw me the, let's take a look, the 0.8.5 version. And I've got this 10.7 version disk image here. So this one was ancient. It looked like the one that runs on PowerPC Macs. And it installed fine and everything, but so did this version. So it was weird that it gave me that one first and I had to actually go out of my way to get the latest version or a newer version. So yeah, that's Spotify. In terms of Chrome, I'm running version, let's take a little look about Chrome. As you can see, this computer will no longer receive Google Chrome updates, it says. The version that we are running at the moment is indeed... yeah, this computer's no longer receive Google Chrome updates. macOS 10.6, 10.7 and 10.8 are no longer supported. This is version 49.0.2623, blah blah blah. So yeah, not an ancient version, I don't think. Everything seems to be working pretty damn fine. And also, I haven't actually updated the machine yet. I'm still on 10.7.2. So I really should do a software update overall on the machine. So yeah, I'm going to continue experimenting with a few things. I did go into the App Store and take a little look at Pages, but it would not download. It refused to download, which is kind of annoying. I don't know how easy it is to get a hold of previous version App Store apps, but that's something I'll look into in a moment. Show details on the software update. So we've got, I've got an iMac EFI firmware update, okay. The Sony little flashback malware removal tool and Mac OS 10 update combined. That cranks me all the way up to 10.7.5. So I should start downloading these. They won't take long. That's a 2 GB download. Pretty big combined OS update there. So it's quite some time later and I'm on my third restart of software to update. So this one includes some security stuff, iTunes, all sorts of little things. And I've been using the iMac in between the software updates for a little bit and I am still very impressed. While this was doing its update thing last time, I've also managed to edit the unboxing to get this out ASAP for you guys. And obviously, if you're watching this video, you've already seen the unboxing. But I will say, folks, I will say that I am really liking this new little addition to the IMNC HQ family of Macs. It's just so nice to take a look at something dramatically different from what I usually take a look at. But anyway, I'm going to let this install, and it's quite funny. The hard drive is quiet for a hard drive, but it's just, I'm not used to it. I can sit over there and I can still hear a little bit of clicking in the background as it's installing its stuff. I'd love to put an SSD in here in the future, folks, but knowing my lack of skill and lack of patience, I'd probably mess something up inside. It's such a nightmare to take apart. I've just looked at the iFixit guide just out of curiosity, and man, maybe that's a project for a rainy day in the winter. But watch this space, we'll see. But for now, it's plenty speedy enough with the drive. I've still got new Mac excitement, so I'll be happy with the hard drive for quite a while. Oh, and by the way, folks, I've got a little bit of paper here which I've been using for the Mighty Mouse scroll wheel already. As you can see, maybe a couple of trails of some slight dirt on there. But yeah, for the most part, the Mighty Mouse is doing okay. Brilliant. The updates are finally getting smaller and smaller, which is good, because once all of these are done, I can finally start using the machine properly, and I'll finally know what versions of what will run on what. As you can see, I've installed Pages and Keynote 09. I'm going to see if these will update to anything newer, because of course these are pre-App Store iWork, so they do not integrate with the latest Pages and Keynote file types. But these are still good standalone word processors and presentation applications. They're still very, very good. They save in Pages 09 saves in Word format and everything. I used that application extensively on my PowerBook, Pages 09, when I was in school, and it was fantastic. In fact, there's a lot of things I prefer about the old version of iWork than the new version. They've stripped a lot away. Aha! It looks like we've got everything. So we've got to do the firmware update, because it waited until all the other stuff was installed before it prompted me to do this. So shut down, and password. There we go, password is in. Let's go. And we now get to do the really fun part, which is hold down the power button and wait for that beep. So here we go. There we go, sorted. You see the repeatedly flashing light and you hear the beep and everything is a-okay. We've got a nice little loading bar. There we go, back to the normal swirly whirly Apple screen after the firmware has updated. Pretty cool. I should now be able to continue using my machine, which I've been really excited about. That video is exporting, so it's time to play around a little bit more. I wonder if I can get a little game up and running on here. I'll have a look on my drive, see what games I've got. Very, very good sign. Okay, I'm going to do one last check on software update. So I've just transferred Need for Speed Most Wanted, of course the old version, onto the iMac, and I'm just letting it run through its cutscene here so that I can get into playing it, and I'm just going to see how far I can crank it up, because one thing about this game is it's one of the games that I've had a file for years and years, and I've ran it on pretty much all of my Macs. So as you can see here, even though everything's on low, it's running really, really well. So I'm just going to have a little fiddle with this and see how far I get. Okay guys, so I've been faffing with this machine for ages. Apologies if I suck, by the way, guys. I'm sitting quite far away to make space for the camera. So you are now looking directly at the iMac screen, playing Need for Speed Most Wanted at maximum settings. And as you may or may not be able to tell on the video, depending on how it comes out, it's a tiny, tiny bit choppy, but it is 100% playable. And all you've got to do to make it really smooth is just crank back the settings, and they make barely any difference to the way the game actually looks, if I'm being totally honest. It is just everything about it. It just screams in regards to this game. There's been nothing throughout my 10-15 minutes of playing, there's been nothing that has, oh god, that has stuttered or crashed or anything like that. And this isn't even a native OS X game, I don't think. So all things considered, it's doing extremely well. One thing, there is no resolution option for the 16:10 display. They're all for 4:3 displays. I'm not sure why that is. Could be because of the age of the game, or it could be something else. But you can't put in custom resolutions, and you can't sort of say fit display, but you don't really notice the black bars. And the other thing is as well, if I just turn up the volume a little bit, take a listen to the audio. So that is seriously awesome. I'm going to quit out of this, and we're going to take a look at some other things. Now, I have installed, let's just quit out of this, Zuma Revenge. The reason I've installed this is because it is an Intel game that I have. Lots of my games are either Universal or PowerPC applications, but this one is an Intel native game, and it is very good for showing off the display. The colours are gorgeous on this game. It's going to be difficult for you guys to see on camera, but the colours really do pop. For anyone who has not played this game, it is a fantastic puzzle game. I don't know if they've got a newer one. This is a good few years old now, Zuma Revenge. I've played this one and I've played the first one. Here we go. Let's continue. Yeah, the colours are just gorgeous. The sun has come out now as well, so it's lightened up the room a little bit, which is actually helping the camera here focus on the iMac screen nicely. But again, apologies for my gameplay, a little bit far away. But just look at these colours pop, guys. They look absolutely stunning on this display. And I will say something, this iMac may be 10 years old now, but the display in this absolutely kicks any cheap modern PC monitor, really blows it out of the water. It's not LED, of course, which is definitely a contributing factor, so there is a heat up time involved. But in terms of the colours, the brightness is really good. Obviously it gets a bit hot and it sucks a bit more energy, but man, really nice. Hopefully you guys can get an idea of how nice it looks on camera here. And the same goes pretty much for all iMac displays. I mean, even the iMac G3 CRTs look stunning. The iMac G4 display, back when I had it, mine was a 17-inch model. It was noticeably dimmer than this display, if I remember correctly, but still a nice looking panel. And again, with the audio. Okay, so really cool stuff. So everyone, I apologise for the constant change of angles in this video as I cover little different sections, but basically what's happening is I'm trying out different things and pulling the camera out every now and again. I've actually been sat here for about 4 hours or whatever. I don't know if you guys have been keeping an eye on the clock. But yeah, now we are going to do what I should have done right at the beginning, but I was too excited. We're going to do the Geekbench test. So of course we're just going to run it in 32-bit. I did buy Geekbench, but I don't think that covers Geekbench 2. Yeah, and I'm not going to purchase it again. So I bought the one from the App Store, which is Geekbench 3, I believe. I'm not sure, but we're just going to run this in 32-bit, and it'll give us an idea anyway. And I can compare it to what my other machines used to get if I can just dig up from memory what they used to get. So what are we going to get any second now? It's been actually pretty quicker than I remembered Geekbench 2 running on these sorts of machines. And the results are in. We have got... Whoa, what's happened? Oh, it now shows your results online. Wow, check that out, guys. That's just crazy. 2,793 for the iMac late 2006. You know, just wow. just seriously wow. And this was little 17-inch model, you know, probably about 900 quid or whatever they cost. I'm actually going to download Mac Tracker, but yeah, look at that. I'm so chuffed about that. Absolutely amazing. So there's the result on Geekbench, because I had to do it. It was pretty much a must for a video covering a new Mac. Anyway, I'm going to continue fiddling and give you guys updates as and when I see interesting things. So YouTube is known to bring these machines down. Not so much the Intel ones, you know, definitely the PowerPC ones. Just got a snowboarding video up here, currently playing at 360. Let's crank her up a little bit to see what we can get. So 480, and we're still dead smooth at 480. And the whole OS remains snappy while you're doing that, so you can just continue, you know, in other places doing things, which is pretty cool. All of this RAM helps with that as well, probably. So let's crank her up to 720, see what happens around 720p. I'm not going to bother doing a 1080p test, just because this is not a 1080p panel, so that would be a complete waste of time. So, as you guys can hopefully tell, it's still extremely smooth at 720p, and it allows you to skip around in the video, no crashing. Let's make a new tab. Let's see if we can browse around other places. As you guys can see, you can just continue browsing the net while that 720p video is playing in the background. So yeah, this is dead smooth at 720p, absolutely lovely, really nice. So that's 720p YouTube. Of course, YouTube is a much bigger hog than playing HD content locally. So if I just head on over to my server here and pick up some HD content. So here we have basically what is pretty much a 1080p file. Although this is not really 1080p, this is 1920 by 792, which is full HD for non-letterboxed CinemaScope, so 2.35 to 1 as opposed to 16:9 flat. And this is a 16 by 10 display anyway, so the letterboxing is quite severe. But yeah, plays back absolutely flawlessly over the network from my server, and the quality is just gorgeous. On the camera, it looks kind of grey. There's a grey hue over the display, but in person, the blacks are surprisingly deep. This does look incredibly nice. I was not expecting this display to be anywhere near this sort of quality. This is a Blu-ray rip, so the colours are extraordinarily rich, and it's really nice. Look, here in these lighter scenes, you can really get an idea of it. I don't want to play too much, but
well done, Harry. Well done.
You know, I don't want to get a copyright strike, but that's playing back absolutely fine. Pretty much a full HD file there. If I play back one of my YouTube videos, I can actually play back the previous video that I just made about this iMac, because it's probably, well, it definitely has exported by now because it's been hours. So that'll be sitting waiting for upload on my server once it spins up, October. And we are looking at iMac 17-inch. So this is a 1080p 16 by 9 file, so 1920 by 1080. Obviously bigger than the res of the actual display, but lovely.
Where the sellers don't mark things as dispatched and you don't know what's going on. Yeah, as you can see, that looks a lot cleaner. It's going to look stunning. It really, this looks. But back is sitting. I'm not 100%, but I reckon he used one of those sort of circle design IECs. Definitely, they wouldn't have left it like that. Underneath, it looks like we've got a little king.
So there we have it, folks. Playback of high definition video files, absolutely flawless, but that was to be expected anyway. We just had to do it as a little bit of a demo. So brilliant, perfect, super pleased with that. So I'm just installing Quake 4 onto this iMac as a little bit of an experiment. I thought it was a PowerPC application, but then I was getting it mixed up with Doom 3. It's actually a universal application because, of course, it came out in 2006. So, according to this article, Quake 4 requires Panther, G4, G5 or Intel, running at 1.67 gigahertz or faster. That's fine. 512 megs of RAM, that's fine, hard disk, whatever. But then we come to the graphics, Radeon 9600 or a GeForce 6600 or better with at least 64 megs of VRAM. So it'll be interesting to see how well this iMac copes with Quake 4. I'm very intrigued to see that. Once it installs, or once it transfers, I'll boot it up and we'll give it a little go. And it'll be nice because with Quake 4 settings we'll be able to set it to the proper system resolution as well. So for some strange reason I can't get the game to run in widescreen. I've selected 16:9 in the options menu and I've also force launched it in 16:9, but it's still running with black bars. So that's a bit of a shame, but oh well. It's also running in I think it's 800 by 600 this is currently running in. For some reason the options menu, the video options menu, is not really taking effect. The changes, it's not remembering my changes for some reason. I'm not sure if that's something to do with the crack for this game. It's always been a bit iffy. It worked fine on my G5, but it's the only system this game has ever truly worked fine on. Anyway, I'm going to wait until we get into some gameplay here, and then oh, is it just... Oh no, it hasn't crashed. Haha, here we go. Man, it's been a while since I've played this game. Okay. Wow, hello Quake. Yeah, this is running in quite a low res. Oh, it's awful playing games with this keyboard and mouse, guys. Ugh. Nasty. Yeah, but this is smooth, really smooth. I know it's at a bit of a low resolution. If I could force it at a higher res, then I would. But oh gosh, embarrassing. I can't actually see what the heck I'm doing from this far back, but yeah, the game is running nice and smooth. So everyone, it is the next day, and it's actually quite late in the day. It's about 5 o'clock, something like that. Don't panic, I have been using my iMac today. I've just been waiting until more of a summarising point in my iMac experience. So a place where I can sort of say, this is what I think of the machine as a kind of outro perspective. But before that, we've got the iMac stand to take a look at, which is definitely intriguing. It's come here in this little box, and I don't quite know what to expect. This was about £12, I think. So I'm really hoping that it's decent for that money. It's very, very important when you use your computer to make sure that your neck isn't arched over awkwardly. Because it can cause you so many back problems and things like that. It's just not worth it. So spending £12, in my opinion, to just lift up the computer a little bit is nothing. Although you could lift up the computer for completely free if you just stack it on a load of random junk that you have hanging around, but I thought I would make a bit more effort than that. So it's basically just a piece of acrylic. Wow. My word. That is what you call clean, apart from where I've already touched it. So you will never ever see this stand looking this clean again, folks. Very nice though. Wow. So what I'm going to do is try and lift the machine and just slide it underneath. And I've already measured, so I know it's going to fit. Let me just pull it up. Okay. Whoa. That is something. Well, that does exactly what it says on the tin, doesn't it, folks? It just lifts up the machine. It looks pretty cool. I mean, it looked a bit more normal when it was just sitting on the desk, but I think I can grow to really, really like that stand. It's cool because it gives you space to put things underneath it, and also it fits really nicely. It's actually cool because I can now push the iMac back further. This is now further back, the stand is further back than when it was on the desk, so that's like a perfect viewing distance, as you can tell there. But yeah, I'm going to use it for a little bit and see how comfortable it is. So it is the next day again, and this marks the first day that I haven't booted up the iMac straight away, but that's only because I went straight to edit this video this morning to get this done, because as I said in the unboxing, I wanted to get this out as fast as possible for you guys. So after using the stand for a little bit, the iMac is, I'd say, almost the perfect height. It really depends on how you're sitting and what you're doing. I think I would prefer it a tiny bit lower. Maybe we're talking an inch at most, but probably half an inch, but that's okay. It is still much better than the iMac being directly on the desk, because I was crouching over the desk. I like having high displays, and obviously the further away the display is, the easier it is to sort of angle your neck properly. But because this desk isn't very deep, the iMac is quite close, so it needed to be a little bit higher. It's not quite at the same level as this test monitor, but the reason the test monitor is so high is just so that it's out of the way, really. So the stand is definitely a great purchase. As a couple of people mentioned in the unboxing video in the comments section, the iMac stand is a perfect place to keep the keyboard, and I can even put the mouse there when I want those things out of the way. So that machine is fully contained and takes up very little space, which is awesome. So because I've published the unboxing video while I'm still recording this video, that gives me the opportunity to address a couple of comments. Now, just like with any Mac purchase, a couple of people have highlighted some of the faults that can occur with these machines. A couple of people have chatted about how vertical lines can appear on the screen and how the graphics chips can fail in some of the models. And yeah, I'm fully aware of all that, folks. If you ignored every single Mac that had issues, especially from this sort of era, then you'd be ignoring a lot of machines. You can't really get, in terms of a 17-inch iMac, you can't really get one more reliable than this. Arguably the G4, but then it would not be half as useful as this. So yeah, it's much more reliable than an iMac G5, and this one doesn't appear to have any problems at the moment, so I'm feeling pretty fine about it. And even if it does mess up, I don't really mind. If it messes up, it's something to make a video about. You know, as long as my main machine works and my main laptop works, that's all I really care about. And obviously I've spent money on this, so it would be nice if it continued to work for as long as possible, but if it doesn't, it doesn't. It's just another thing to talk about. So the issues don't bother me, but I am fully aware. I think because a lot of time has passed since I've made a Mac video, I think a lot of people assume that I am a Mac noob these days. I don't know why that is. I get a lot of comments that repeatedly say things towards me, things that are very, very basic, you know, that I kind of obviously know. And if you guys just scroll back to a year ago on the channel or whenever it was, my Mac videos were like, it was like 70-80% Mac videos, and over the years we've done all sorts with these machines. So even though I'm a little bit behind on modern Mac stuff, I'm not really that clued up on what Apple have been doing for the last 2 years. I am still very, very much involved with these Apple machines, and I am fully aware of lots of the simple things that people are mentioning, such as being able to run Mountain Lion. I believe I even mentioned that in my unboxing, or it could have been in this video, I'm not too sure, but I'm fully aware that these will run Mountain Lion with hardware acceleration pretty much natively. You can crank these up as high as you want to, with sacrifices being made with each version, of course, but yeah, Mountain Lion is something that we may look at in the future. I'm not 100% sure yet. I'm actually toying with the idea of partitioning the drive and having Snow Leopard on one partition and Mountain Lion on another, just for comparison reasons. Lion is potentially my least favourite version of OS X of all time, but that isn't really saying much, because it's OS X and I love OS X. but Lion, out of all versions, I was just never happy with it. But one of the massive things that I hated about Lion is not a problem on this machine. One of the biggest gripes I had with it back in the day was the multi-monitor support. Lion, multi-monitor management, and I believe Mountain Lion, Lion and Mountain Lion, until they fixed it in Mavericks, the multi-monitor support is atrocious. But of course, that's not a problem here at all. I just hate the way it manages multi-monitors, but there's a lot that I dislike about Lion. So that's exactly why I may do the whole partition thing and get Mountain Lion and Snow Leopard up and running on here. And it'll be interesting to do like a support comparison as well, so seeing between Snow Leopard Lion and Mountain Lion how different the support is between those three OSs at the moment, because they are pretty much the choice OSs for this machine. Even though Mountain Lion isn't natively supported, it's incredibly easy to get running, so that's definitely something to think about. But one thing that's clear is my subscriber base, you guys that are watching this video right now, a load of you are Mac people, because that unboxing video shot up to 3,000 views in a blink of an eye. So I want to say a big thank you to everyone who supports my Mac content. And I know that the Mac videos have been a little slow recently, but they will be coming back, because I've got at least 2 or 3 specific plans in mind in terms of my Macs. And also I've got many loose ends on the channel. I've got my hands on a lot of machines. And I know people are kind of annoyed that I haven't focused on a lot of machines beyond a simple unboxing, but please believe me when I say there is more to come. And I believe the next Mac project is a very healthy desktop PowerPC Mac related project that you guys are going to love. It's using a secret component that I have had in my possession for a few months now, and it is something that I thought I would never ever get my hands on, and I've got my hands on it. So that is the conclusion to the iMac video. I'm basically saying at the end here, a huge thanks for watching. This machine is fantastic. This will be it for videos on this machine for a little while, until I've got more to make videos on, maybe the OS stuff like I was talking about. And yeah, I also am using this as an excuse to say thank you and remind you guys that I am a Mac person, and this is definitely quite a Mac heavy channel. Not so much these days maybe, but definitely my older videos, and I'll always be a Mac user at heart. So of course, yeah, plenty more to come. That's basically what I'm saying. So a massive thank you for watching my iMac journey, which is probably well over an hour in total length, with the unboxing and this video. I really hope you've all enjoyed. Please keep your comments coming. I'm going to do my best to reply to some comments on the unboxing video, and as well some comments on this video, just to address some questions and some queries and some remarks. And yeah, as always folks, I will see you in the next video.